Hello to the Deep Dive family. Welcome back. Have you ever wondered what the oldest story written by mankind is about? War, love, wealth? None of them. The oldest tale we found etched on clay tablets is the story of a king who sought something we all dream of one day, an escape from death. By the end of this video, you won't just learn a 5,000-year-old story, you'll understand how the fear of being forgotten has shaped the greatest civilizations in history. But to begin, we must return to the cradle of civilization, to the city of Uruk, where it all began. Imagine living in a city surrounded by high brick walls. A magnificent city called Uruk. You have a king named Gilgamesh. He is a superhero. 2/3 god and 1/3 human. Powerful, handsome, invincible. But there's one big problem. Gilgamesh is a cruel and tyrannical ruler. He doesn't use his power to serve his people, but to satisfy his own desires by oppressing them. The people of Uruk are fed up with him. They pray day and night to the gods, asking them to send someone to put Gilgamesh in his place. And this is where our story takes a strange turn. The gods actually listen to their prayers. The goddess of creation, Uruk, takes some clay and creates a being who is, in every way, a rival and equal to Gilgamesh. They name him Enkidu. Enkidu is a wild man. His body is covered in hair, he lives with animals, and he knows nothing of the laws of the human world. He is the embodiment of untamed nature. But news of this wild man reaches Gilgamesh, and the arrogant king, instead of being afraid, becomes curious. He sends a woman named Shamhat to Enkidu to tame him and bring him into the world of civilization. Shamhat teaches Enkidu about love, food, and language, transforming him from a beast into a man. Now, Enkidu is ready to face Gilgamesh. But where will this confrontation lead? To war or to peace? Enkidu enters the city of Uruk and stands before Gilgamesh's palace to stop his tyranny. The two heroes, two immense forces, clash. An epic battle ensues that shakes the very earth. Neither is willing to back down. But at the peak of the fight, something unexpected happens. For the first time in his life, Gilgamesh has met someone as powerful as himself. He sees in Enkidu not an enemy, but his own missing half. The battle ends, but not with one's defeat and the other's victory. They embrace each other, and from that moment on, they become the best and closest of friends. This is where Gilgamesh's true journey begins. Gilgamesh, now transformed from a selfish king into a hero by his friendship with Enkidu, seeks adventure and a way to make his name immortal. He decides to go on an impossible mission, to journey to the Cedar Forest and kill its monstrous guardian, Humbaba. Enkidu is initially against it. He knows Humbaba and knows that defeating him is nearly impossible. But Gilgamesh insists. Together, they venture into the heart of the forest, defeat Humbaba, and return to Uruk in glory. Now their names are famous throughout the world, but this victory attracts the attention of someone it shouldn't have. Ishtar, the goddess of love and war, impressed by Gilgamesh's courage, proposes marriage to him. But Gilgamesh, filled with pride, rejects the goddess's proposal, bringing up her dark past and infidelities. This was the biggest mistake of Gilgamesh's life. Ishtar, enraged by this insult, ascends to the heavens and asks her father Anu to send the Bull of Heaven to destroy Uruk and punish Gilgamesh. The Bull of Heaven descends upon the earth, wreaking havoc on the city. But Gilgamesh and Enkidu once again fight side by side and defeat the Bull of Heaven. They have now challenged the gods twice. And this was something the gods could not tolerate. The gods hold a council in the heavens and decide that the two friends must be punished. But which one? They decide that Enkidu, the one who came from nature to restrain Gilgamesh, must die. In a terrifying nightmare, Enkidu sees his fate, and after a few days of severe illness, he dies in Gilgamesh's arms. Enkidu's death shatters Gilgamesh. The arrogant king who thought he was invincible is confronted for the first time with a truth that no power can stop: mortality. The fear of death consumes Gilgamesh. He sheds his royal garments, dons a lion's skin, and wanders into the wilderness. He now has only one goal: to find the secret to eternal life. He hears that only one man in the entire world has achieved immortality, a man named Utnapishtim, who survived a great flood. To find him, Gilgamesh crosses impassable mountains and the waters of death, finally reaching the end of the world. Gilgamesh finds Utnapishtim and asks him for the secret to immortality. Utnapishtim tells him the story of the Great Flood and explains that immortality was a gift from the gods, not to be repeated for any other human. He tells Gilgamesh that instead of running from death, he should embrace life. But Gilgamesh doesn't give up. To prove to Gilgamesh that he cannot even conquer sleep, let alone death, Utnapishtim gives him a test: stay awake for 6 days and 7 nights. Gilgamesh immediately falls asleep. Finally, Utnapishtim's wife takes pity on Gilgamesh and tells him a secret. At the bottom of the ocean, there is a plant that restores youth. Gilgamesh dives into the deep waters, finds the plant, and happily heads back to Uruk. He decides to first test the plant on an old man. But on his way back, while stopping for a drink of water, a snake steals the plant, eats it, sheds its skin, and becomes young again. Gilgamesh has lost everything. This is where we reach the climax and the true end of the story. Gilgamesh returns to Uruk empty-handed. He stands at the city gate and looks at the high walls he himself had built. And suddenly, he comes to a profound realization. He understands that true immortality is not in the eternal life of the body, but in the works that we leave behind. In the walls he built to protect his people, in the stories told of his heroism, and in the impact he has had on the world. Gilgamesh transforms into a wise and just king. He dedicates the rest of his life to serving his people and building a city that will keep his name alive forever. The Epic of Gilgamesh doesn't end with his death, because he achieved what he was truly searching for. The name and story of Gilgamesh have been told for 5,000 years, making him immortal. Thank you for joining us on this epic journey. The story of Gilgamesh reminds us that we all one day face the fear of death and being forgotten. But our true legacy lies not in the length of our lives, but in the impact we have on the lives of others. We love you guys, and we'd be happy if you'd give us a boost by liking this video and subscribing to the Deep Dive channel to discover more stories together. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. In your opinion, what is true immortality? Until the next video, think about the stories you are creating.